challenges every single fibre of their being, every nerve ending, their concentration, their bravery, and then add in that you don't know where the grip is going to be on this first lap, because it's 10 minutes since you were last around this circuit, and the weather will have changed, the grip level will have changed, the surface will have changed, and there's already people diving into the pit lane. They've been around the circuit, so they're coming off when it's going on to them with green flag for the 2021 49th running of the Total ADAC Nürburgring 24 hours, live on the RSL network. And it is the pole man, the Rover Racing BMW, who leads away, smashing Ruth around the outside by the Bilstein Mercedes AMG. KTM Crossbow right in the middle of all the action. They're onto the Grand Prix circuit for the first time, and there's a try for the lead down the inside. The Lance Audi, remember, going out on Michelin slick tyres, gets the green light. Now, the Porsche that was there will be starting at the back of the next group, as it's 84th position. It's the 132 Porsche that is also sitting in pit lane, and that is the Mathol Racing AV Porsche Cayman S, the Wolfgang Weber machine. So they'll start, I think, at the back of the next group.
Conrad Lamborghini down to 4th place, which puts the Schubert Motorsport M6 up into 3rd place. So the Lamborghini there, I thought that would get a great start, that Lamborghini, and it did to begin with, but just lost out after turn 1 and just couldn't hold it down to the Grand Prix circuit, dropping down to 4th place. Falcon Motorsport BMW's Porsche's running all over the curbing on turn 3 of a 24-hour race.
Unbelievable stuff. Both of them going past Sven Muller and making off positions. They did not qualify well. Perhaps, Peter Mackay, one of the surprises was the pace of the Falcon Porsches in the qualifying sessions, but they did not turn that into good grid positions. And the performance brand for i30N, Luca Engsler will come to the line, 8:30 and 8:31. Oh, and Engsler absolutely mobbed at the start by Cayman's 1, 2, 3 cars. He's got a Cooper right up his tailpipes as well as they head down to their start. The Mathol Racing EV 132 Porsche Cayman will join on the back of this 1, 2, 3, 4 across the start line. No spray being kicked up there. Engsler battling for his position through the first of the S's, not taking the full hook here. It's the only bit of the Grand Prix circuit they don't use in the 24-hour layout, because it's actually being used in the early part of the week. There's extra paddock space. In the yellow and blue colours, Nicky Katzberg looks like he might have lost out round the outside at Arnberg. Oh my goodness, at the top of the foxhole, in the damp.
Absolutely right, and it's 4th actually, because our timing screen hadn't quite updated. We had Nicky Katzberg at number 1. It wasn't. It's
Lucas Stoltz was so far ahead.
Exactly.
Where it was.
So it's Stoltz, Katzberg, Klingman, and Estra in 4th. So it's Mercedes, BMW in the middle there, but two different teams, Rover Racing and Schubert, and then the Manthey, Grello, Fricadelli, and Rutronic Racing Porsches in 4th, 5th, and 6th. So it's a classic. Oh, there's a bit of contact we've just seen on something going on there between them and the Falcon Porsches and AMGs.
And this, I think Dennis Marshall is struggling with a puncture, trying to get back to the pits, which will slow things down for him. Oh no, it was the Conrad Lamborghini right into the side of Fred Machiavecchi at Arnberg the first time around. So I saw a punctured tyre. But whether that was, well, that's also close contact as well.
And interestingly, Nico Muller has brought in the car collection team Audi Sport into the pits as well. So that's, I'm surprised that's come in. So is that a tyre change?
Oh, we've got a big fire, a big conflagration. And that is one of the Porsche Cup cars. I think it's the 69 car, the Klickverschärung team. And that car is well alight. The driver taking a fire extinguisher to the left rear, but that car is, I'm not sure that's savable. It's certainly not coming back in the race. That's a huge fire from the engine compartment. The second place BMW Rover Racing of Nicky Katzberg. Adnar Force, the leader, just being dragged back a little bit. Lucas Stoltz is settling into his settling into his rhythm as a side-by-side battle. BMW versus Porsche, and Estra goes around the outside, coming out of Adnauer Forst, past the Dacia Logan, but they're out in SP4 from memory. And a problem for
Lamborghini.
That's the Conrad car.
Conrad car, yeah.
That was at Adnauer Forst, pulling off onto the left-hand side, right at the top. That was a moment or two ago, and Klaus Bachler has already gone through. And following on, David Pittard off as well in the Valkenhorst BMW. That's an unusual mistake from David. He just slid off.
So let's not speculate too much, but it just looks as if it rather like the number 72 BMW just spotted now that's got a broken toe link and is going out with it's the number 240 car.
That's one of the Cup 5 machines.
Yeah, the Merlini-driven car. Failure on that, so he's obviously tapped a barrier.
It's raining again, Peter.
It is. I think that's exactly what's catching people out, John.
Nico Muller just understeering off at the end of the Vauxhall. Again, I'll say it again, that's where you tend to get the first signs of bad weather. Nico can't keep the car in a straight line, so there may be more damage there. Venerable Volker Strycek behind the wheel, the man who used to head up the Opel Performance Centre. Many long, sensible chats for that. And another car with overheating problems. Is it worse than that? It's the number 8, the AMG. That's the Fabian Schiller Mercedes. And he's out of the car. He's having a good look around. That's not good news. Even worse in the engine compartment now. Fabian Schiller reinstalls himself to the Team Get Speed number 8 car. Huge amount of grass debris on the front, and it's going into the garage on the dollies. Next hour we'll do you an hourly update, and what we're going to do is, as we've done in previous years, Joe Bradley has split the field into roughly 2 halves of the 20 classes or thereabouts. Hoffa Racing by Bock BMW M4 GT4, they are in 40th position for the number 70th. The GT Tyre Motorsport number 53 in the 132, they lead that class in 96th. In 100th position, SP3 leader is the 121 Royal Automotive Club GT86 Cup car. That is the SP3 class. That's the class that has the Foxtail Manta, as we've had a change of lead. Peter Mackay.
Yeah, Kevin Estre getting a brilliant run there along the Dottinger Hoe on Lucas Stoltz. Nothing Stoltz could do, really. 5i leads
V4 in 110th position. That's the 153 car. It is the Kroll family outing, Hoffa Racing in the BMW M3 CSL. And me, John Hindorf, in the Global Broadcast Centre. Robin Thringe a minute or two ago, going down into the first corner, right up behind the Rutronic Porsche, just giving it a little nudge. No, it's still not. Who's behind the Rutronic?
I'm not sure for that moment. Just very quickly, John, as they're at Flugplatz, the leading cars, it is now properly wet again.
Real struggle to find grip out there for Kevin Estre, who is leading the motor race, and everybody struggling. How did Fred Makovecki stay away from the Hankook Triple F 63 machine a little while ago, as they all hit the water and started to check up? They are living on their wits at the moment. Robin Fringe passing a handful of cars by picking the right-hand side of the road.
That's my kind of era, so I'm just showing my age again.
You raced against that?
I did. Yeah. I did.
Big slide from the KTM Crossbow.
It's more than a slide. It's all the way around. Going off. Yeah, rears are into the gravel. That's going to be difficult to get out. That's the 114 KTM, and that's because the rain is absolutely tipping it down.
Bucketing down.
Somebody's turned the tap on at the Nürburgring.
And that means people are going to be on the grass all over the place. That was the Auto Motorsport machine, that number 75. And that's at the top of the Foxhole.
And the Car Sport team car collection off as well. Number 2 Audi. That's just only.
And that, by the way, was Christian Menzel driving that car. And off as well for one of the GT tyres sponsored Cayman. It's a little bit off camber there, and the water runs down the hill. And even at relatively slow speed, these cars, which are almost always all still on slick tyres, the Aviasorg Rennsport BMW, wheels turning left and right, totally locked up. And another KTM, I'm thinking now, is that an Audi? It might be one of the Audis. This is carnage, absolute carnage. It is 3, 4, 5, 6 cars, and this is all a Tradenkreuz.
The middle of the track there, not where you want to be, absolutely prone. The number 350 car there, John.
Yeah, that's the Black Falcon Teen Identic Porsche that's stuck, and the problem is it's over the top of the brow there. You can't see it. Then it's bad enough for wets. Completing 5 laps at the front of the field, and everybody at the front's coming in. Estre, Katzberg, Stoltz.
So if this, for those SP9 cars, the leaders that are coming in right now, their minimum pit stop time is 2 minutes and 18 seconds. However, of course, we have a couple of teams that have already had one pit stop.
Boys, is that I've just seen the incident there. What's actually happened is that the left rear has taken an impact on. That's what's broken. That's why that car couldn't move. The angle we saw, it was possible. The 24 Audi, though, severe.
That's the car that went off.
Exactly. Severe damage on the front right.
But that's not the only incident out there. The beautiful thing is that because it's such a long circuit, we're still racing, and Fred McAvecchi is making up positions and just getting a little hip and shoulder. Wheel tracks at the moment as they head towards the second of the carousels, the Kleiner carousel. Minimum pit stop time not complied with for the number 34. So that will be
Literal Realm GT4 Mercedes.
Yeah, that is going to cost them. That is the Marcel Markovic's car. He does not have to make a specific trip into the pit lane. Estre dragging up behind the number 4 Mercedes, having just been passed by Stoltz, takes him back again. These two swapping places around the lap.
Falcon and AMG. Sorry, yeah, they get to the second get speed car as well. I'm getting tongue-tied, my apologies. Lead car is now Kevin Estre, the Manthey Porsche at the head of the field, with Stoltz in second place, as we've got another car going off. I think that's into Hatzenbach.
It's the very early part. It's another one of the
It's one of the KTMs.
KTMs. It's the
that's
60.
rattled itself down the barriers. That's a number 60 car, isn't it?
Yeah, that's another Teichmann racing car. That's the Karl-Heinz Teichmann driven machine with Erkan Kara Osman, Lauda Kreiheimer, who's very, very quick, the Salzburg-based driver, and Stefan Brodmerkel. And that did have some
309, one of the Caymans off
that's
as
twice
well.
for that car.
Well, losing it, somebody else behind having to avoid him doing it.
Have pitted. It's the 911 Manthey Racing Porsche by about a second from in second place Lucas Stoltz. Frutronic Porsche, the number 3 car, is next up. In 5th and 6th is Robin Freinge for Audi Sport Team Phoenix, and 7th is Josh Burton for KCMG Porsche number 18. 8th Frank Stippler, still having a cracking battle in his Phoenix Audi.
One paragraph. Well, my English teacher always said my paragraphs were too long, so hopefully I'll try and keep them. I mean, again, we saw it, we said it in qualifying last night in similar conditions. These guys here, they are the very best in the world at what they do, and you can include F1 drivers in that as well. This is just incredible. You look at the bravery at the front from Kevin Estre, Lucas Stoltz, Nicky Katzberg so far, but sum it up in a word: crazy.
Crazy but beautiful in some respect.
Yeah.
Problem for one of the BMWs in Cup 5. It is the 240. Now, it's not the first time we've seen this car off in the GT Masters Series. Had a lot of fun with that. Problem for the number 311 at the first corner. He's going to get all the way to the Yokohama barriers as well. That's the FK Performance.
Well, that's a very interesting off there, to say the least, John, because it's unabated speed. One of the GT4 Mercedes there having a real moment, even just under braking there. Quite literally, to use a cliche for Peter Mack, snaking under braking. Thought I'd get that in before Peter did.
Will Polster.
But now the 98 Rover run BMW having the same issue, outbraking himself in turn 1 there.
I like to say, we said it once, we'll say it again, these guys are earning their trust.
2 Porsches touching. Fred McAvecchi getting very sideways with the Falcon Motorsports car.
Around it having the ABS on all the time. He said he's driven it with the ABS off, and the car is just horrible to drive with it off. So they're designed in with that technology, which is I found interesting. So it's not like a GTE car. Well, GTE car doesn't have it at all, but it's not adjustable. It's either kind of on or off, and if you have it off, the car really doesn't like it, apparently.
Witchcraft, I would say.
It's interesting. I mean, I agree with what Snowy said. Should be able to get pretty close. Always the last 3, 4, 5%. It's just going to be the hardest thing to ring out of any car, whatever its specification. I think I got within about 1.2 seconds. Well known for its wet weather tyres. Good news. It was Cara Osman behind the wheel of the number 60. Teichmann Racing Crossblow is moving again. That was one of the cars that was caught out in the first rain shower, but it's moving, and it's moving under its own steam. And
Frickadelli Porsche all the way around at Tiergarten, I think that isn't it, coming into...
That's the 7 Mercedes Get Speed.
No, before that there was the Frickadelli number 30 gone round as well.
Okay.
Number 30 Frickadelli Porsche, and indeed one of the AMG Mercs, also number 34 going round as well. That's on the GP circuit. So it's just standing water everywhere now. Cars just, as you say, tippy toe, and another spin for the number 30. The other Frickadelli Porsche. That's Frederico Macavezzi. That's the number 31 car.
In those cars, running 25th overall, and top of the class is the number 75 machine. He at this moment in time. SB7, the Porsche Cup class, in that one there. That one is Christopher Mies in the Cooper Motorsport 911 Cup, the number 80 car. In TCR at this moment in time, it's the Hyundai Elantra number 830 leading in that class.
And to me, one of the most fearsome parts of the circuit is the run from Brunchen, Flansgarts and Schwalbenschwanz towards the end of the lap, and it dries out a bit there, gives them more confidence. Well, look, I suppose you could say if it's going to be anywhere on the lap, it's got to be there or thereabouts, because that's one of the rare points in which they point straight for more than a handful of seconds.
You need to be carrying a lot of speed and maximising your entry onto the start-finish straight. Still a wet Grand Prix track, I see, Bruce.
Certainly is. We just had a change for the lead. Kevin Estre lost out to Lucas Stoltz, and then thought, you know what, I don't really fancy that. So even before they got 2 corners onto the Grand Prix loop, the Porsche back in front of the Mercedes. But a great little dogfight here between the sort of custard yellow and blue Mercedes. It's Lucas Stoltz and the sort of more acid green and acid yellow Porsche, who's about to be deposed again. Stoltz back into the lead.
I thought Stoltz was, again, just mentioning coming out of the Tiergarten onto the start-finish bit, I think it was the Mercedes who had a great run
or so ago. But anyhow, the officials have noted that down.
Yeah, there was fog, Bruce, about. I'm trying to think of the time it was. It was quite a while ago. Cars, perhaps one of the trickiest parts of the track. It was at the Hatzenbach, where you've got the sequence of left, right, flowing corners. And he had to get round 2 of the slower classes there, and he did so. But I tell you what, it was very, very close indeed of that car. The Cup X class has the number 75, Auto Moto. Let me just give you this car's full title. And again, the number 31 Frickadelli car. That car has already been into the pits and has taken its pit stop first before the 30.
Won by 5 laps, sharing with Manuel Reuter, Timo Scheider and Marcel Thiemann. Run by Team Phoenix, and Team Phoenix on the track, or in fact not on the track, because suddenly Dries van Toor's gone off. He slid over the grass virgin front 3/4 angle into the tyres on the outside of the circuit, and the windscreen completely flooded with muddy water as it came back off the tyres. Head in the hands for Dries van Toor there. Oh my word, that was one of the favourites in the race, has taken a tumble, and that's Phoenix now with its Audis.
Probably 2/3, if not half of this Nordschleife track, and we just you could see from the in-car, just how deep he went. And the car just snapped around on him.
Degrees to that. So frustration and disappointment. And another spinner is car 100, but that's done it on the Grand Prix loop. So sitting sideways on the track, not having hit anything. So that at least is good news for the Pro-Am entry from Walk on Horse Motorsport. But so just as the track's getting dry, you're thinking, why are people spinning? But that's because, as Joe pointed out, they're out on slick tyres, whereas before they've had more grip, albeit going away from them. Oh, and the long shot, there's no rear wing on Dries van Toor's rather tattered and battered Audi as it comes home. The front corner is damaged, front right-hand corner. Rear wing obviously came off on the second point of impact with the tyre wall. There may need to be repairs also to the tyre wall. Fastest lap of the race so far was put in by another BMW, but that was Schubert Motorsport. Jesse Krohn. We were worried before the race the Dacia Logan, this inimitable little Charger, wasn't going to qualify, but it was allowed into the race. Slaps in qualifying were 12 minutes, whereas the fastest drivers were 4 minutes faster. But the driver racing under the pseudonym of Doom has had a little spin on the Grand Prix loop. Schwalbenschwanz, you're spot on there, Joe.
Yeah, the number 71 it is, Bruce.
It's the Pro Sport Aston Martin. This is a big disappointment for the Aston Martin fans that have been running pretty well.
Fog doesn't usually create many issues with regards to creating a wet track, Bruce. It just keeps everything cool.
Porsche Cayman S is running 71st for the 132 car and is in the lead.
Cup class car further down the field. You've got to stay where you are. You've got to stay online, do your own thing, and let the others get round you. And it's quite daunting and tempting, I'm suggesting, to get out of the way. Classify himself as one of those that enjoys the wet and the dark in a racing car. And I'm not quite sure why. I think it's the wrong ECU and I think, or wrong genes. Now we've got a Viper going very
the
slowly.
AT Viper is
We've got a car across
involved.
the track sideways. It looks like, is it not?
It's a Cayman. It's the number 87 Cayman,
car it is, yeah.
And that car is sideways on the track.
And that's where it's resided, just looking at some damage on the side of the track. And I just wonder if that's what's happened. It's now, if this is where we had issues earlier on, wasn't it?
It's coming to the end of the lap, so coming off the Dottinger Hole through a Tiergarten, and he's rolled. It's rolled. The car actually went over. It was over on driver's right. Great avoidance by the Viper, and straight on, clips the curb, hits the wall one side and then the other, and it's been over at least once. So right at the end of Tiergarten.
I think it actually landed on its wheels anyway, John.
Probably might be right. It's quite foggy there.
You just made a statement there, which I'm going to back up now, and I'm going to give you a warning here now. So, ridiculous statement coming up now. You said there was ridiculously fast parts of the Nordschleife.
Sharing with Ernst Trien from Grunwald and another Munich-based driver, Andrea Schlafitzel. And this has caught up the leaders. Awful lot of... Now back onto the start-finish line and carries on. Now, a moment or two ago, the Frickadelli car getting turned around by BMW number 331 and it was Philip Lyson who was behind the wheel. Nobody's saying, as Peter said, that this is not deliberate, but it's just not good. Oh, and the Manthey
car off.
Manthey car's just been off as well, pushing far too hard.
Hatzenbach.
With yellow flags out and slippery surface flags coming out of the Hatzenbach on the run down to Flugplatz. But it's almost completely unreadable for the car that's running on Michelin tyres.
Funny that, isn't it? Yeah, who'd have thought, eh?
Who'd have thunk it? If we can work out what's going on with that. That's a very, very odd one. 30 car. So it's the 30 car, and it's got left rear puncture. Blasting down through the super quick areas. The Cayman in trouble on the Grand Prix circuit, just ploughed straight on. Clean track that we wanted to. Somewhere near. And I'll keep an eye on the predictive. Oh, big incident. This is one of the Black Falcon. It's the 306 Cayman, and that is a lot of steam and smoke that's been in both ends, and that has done itself some serious damage on the right-hand side. The leader was in that area. Has that happened right in front of the leader? Yes, it has, coming to France Garden 2. Just understeered off to the left-hand side. Great flag work. Absolutely brilliant flag work by the marshals. And whoever was driving that 306, I don't know if they had much control of the car at all, but they did absolutely the right thing. Fog's not going to make this any easier, PMAC. Out they go, back to the racing. Nick Yallerly's gone through for Rover Racing. For everybody watching and listening around the world, because it's too early to start back counting, but what we can say, as the Glickenhaus, I think, has just had a spin, has it? No, that's a...
Yes.
It was?
Yeah,
Glickenhaus.
704.
Believe your eyes, kind of, down at turn 1. A couple of laps, or whether they're starting to go out to 3 laps, because at that point they're starting to become more significant, Peter.
Oh, indeed, yes. Well, where the number 704 Glickenhaus, Richard Westbrook, is parked at the side of the circuit, and Richard Westbrook is out of that car. So, John, you might be forgiven by Richard that his spin might well have been to do with some sort of mechanical failure. Is on the Grand Prix circuit, where the number 301 Porsche Cayman has just had a little bit of a twirl. And of course, I suppose, Joe, if there's anywhere where they're going to have bad fog, the Grand Prix circuit is certainly the best place to have it, as opposed to on the Nordschleife. All good in my book, that's for sure. At the moment, we've got Hubert Haupt on board the number 6 Mercedes. Now, this is quite a unique story, because Hubert is actually the team owner of HRT Racing, and it's a pro car. It's not a Pro-Am car, and Hubert, one of the older drivers in the pro class, at 52 years old, man from Munich.
And it's a red flag. We've got a full course red flag.
Equates to 250 kilometres, but it's still going, the spirit of the event. But right now, the Audi safety car, lights still flashing on the roof, turns left for the final time of this lap. Just waiting to see, accelerating down the start of the straight. The lights go out, the visibility is very poor indeed. But for Philippe Eng, he's waiting for the start, waiting. Now he's floored the throttle, won't be overtaken before the start-finish line. Hugs the pit wall side, because you can see that more easily. And in behind, we've got some possible overtaking, including the 98 sister car. Looks as though Martin Tomczyk may be gaining possession as they dive down. But it's so hard to see the drivers. But I tell you what, overtaking already, Joe.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether the stewards will pounce on that. We're already into turn 1, and it looked a little bit messy. It looks much more frantic from our viewpoint than it ever does from one of the driver's seats. But it's Philippe Eng who led across the line. We've got cars almost 3 wide into the left and right, heading down towards the Dunlop curve. Now leader pulling away, and the number 11 there of Beretta losing a little bit of time there as he went wide. That's allowed Machiavecchi in the Fricadelli car to come alongside and get the line into Dunlop, and he's made that place change. All the corners flow to one another, and hence that's why it makes overtaking on the Nordschleife so much more difficult. Second group across the line and restart there at Nürburgring 24 hours, I see.
I like the way you say I see. It's immensely hard to see, but we can hear them coming past. The lights are on, we can pick them out, and certainly some of the TCR Hyundais, there are a pair of them right at the front. But any swivel from the top of the pit building to look down towards turn 1, you lose the cars even before they get there. That's just an indication of how thick the fog is. Headlights fully ablaze, that quick flick, turn sharp right through turn 1, then immediately cut left, not using all of the Mercedes arena, and then continue all the way down to the bottom of the hill, to the Dunlop Kecher, the hairpin at the bottom, and then back up.
Of that section of track and out onto the start-finish straight. This is a good spot. One of the cars in that group into the pits. We'll clarify who that is, but this is a braking area into turn 1. You've got to follow the car through Tiergarten and then get yourself in a position where you can outbrake, and it has indeed been the leaders who've done just that, Bruce.
Well, in fact, what we've got, it's still Eng from Engel, but in behind, we've had a change. Kevin Estra's gone past Martin Tomczyk. Has Tomczyk got it back? No, Tomczyk is now the meat in the sandwich. Is Estra now in 4th place?
The BMW range, so very much so, but I'm still not tempted into getting involved in one of those K Dacia things. I'm really not, Bruce.
It hasn't worked for me either. There we go. Wow, near contact. The battle for 6th place. Raffaele Marcello all over the tail of Michele Beretta, and it has led to contact. The rear bodywork of the Audi got tagged there because the Audi had to back up going past, I think it's the Toyota GT86, the yellow car with the green, red and blue stars on the side. Oh, and Beretta all over the place. Probably got a puncture. Now he's been hit by Marcello because he slowed down and he certainly went sideways and off. So left rear puncture, round it went. Really unfortunate. Neither driver to blame in that, I would suggest.
You know what, Bruce? The runoff there is so tight. I'll be amazed if that Audi did not connect to the barrier.
Automotive Club Sanvit, Toyota GT86, just ran out of anywhere to go, and the others behind were so tight. Oh, one of the pointing the wrong way is it's the number 33 Thomas Preining driven Falcon Motorsport Porsche. That's got to get going again. The young Austrian shares that with Klaus Bachler, Dirk Werner, Lance David Arnold. I think he was caught up just after going past the spun Beretta Audi, but again, it could have been another car going through the carousel. Of course, the carousel was the point at which the contact was made. Oh no, sorry, he's slightly further around the lap, I beg your pardon. Just spun coming out of the corner all on his own. Oh well.
Was that the Kleiner carousel where that...
It was the Kleiner carousel.
Yes, it was the Kleiner carousel. Car completely gets disturbed there, and if you just happen to be on the power at the wrong time, so easy to do, and that's what we saw Thomas Preining doing exactly that. Other information coming through that a penalty has been given to the number 11 for a flag infringement, and that's the number 4 Mercedes off track
from 2nd place. So, and he's pushed up the tyre barrier. Was it all on his own under pressure? Well, lost it long before the corner, cut across the grass with the Opel Manta, the Foxtail Manta, that then slid into it at the exit of the corner before getting out of the way. But so suddenly, in the space of half a lap, it's all happening.
Hasn't took a hit there on the Manta. The Manta's already made its way to the track. I think that's occurred at the Tiergarten, Bruce. A perfectly clear track, and progress report on that car being recovered is that the car is now on the flatbed.
To come back into the mix, but when the track's dry, they just don't seem to have the wheels under them particularly. So Marco Seefried, veteran racer, leading the way, but he is out of kilter. His pit stop will come at the end of this lap. He's still got about 20 kilometres to do to the end of this lap, while all his drivers in the SP9 class have made their stops. From 1989, when Pirot, Ravalia and Giroir won through. In fact, M3's run one all the way through until 1997. We've got the number 11 Audi in trouble all over again. Don't forget, this is one Michele Beretta was clouted up the back when they caught the Toyota GT86 by Raffaele Marcello. Got the puncture, had the repairs, came back in, and Beretta has spun. Going very well indeed for Rutronic in 3rd place. He's just 2.3 seconds down on Sheldon van der Linde's BMW, and there's another Porsche in 4th place, Josh Burden. He's 11 seconds further back, but he's got company from Neil Verhagen, who didn't get out of the driver change. There was no driver change for the BMW junior team, and he's been one of the real stars of this restarted race.
It's car 991, the Manthey Racing Porsche 911, with Christensen at the wheel, leading in 2nd place with a gap of just under 8 seconds, right on 8 seconds. Let's not be pedantic. Is the Rover Racing BMW car 98, and in 3rd place, all these cars SP9 of course, and the overall 3rd place, car number 3, the Rutronic Racing Porsche, and it's Laurent Vantour at the wheel of that car, currently in 3rd place. Produce the same lap time but in very different ways.
They really do, yeah. And you've like you say, they've got the engine mounted in different places, and it's a spin for the KCMG Porsche. Josh Burton, I think, on board that car into the barriers at, I think that's the Hatzenbach, Joe.
Yeah, it is. Hatzenbach catching out Burton there and just spinning. Yeah, I am not liking seeing that at any time, but when you've seen where that car was very much in contention for a consecutive win.
Christensen back together. They were such a strong pairing, world champions together, and they've just taken off where they left off.
Yeah, absolutely. What a driver pairing. And of course, you can't discount the other drivers that are in that car as well. I mean, just look at the strength of that team, Pete. You know, we're used to seeing fast fill systems on sports car racing, and it's all about getting in and out of the pits as quickly as possible. Well, in this Pro-Am style of racing, it's not necessarily about that. There's an element of safety, and the way that we can maintain that safety is, you know, forget about the fast fill fueling.
Get in, back of the net.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I've just felt I had to interject there because I heard my name mentioned. You get back to that battle for 10th.
That's going to be dished out by the stewards.
Getting confirmation that it's the number one row at BMW that's now retired. It was an electrical issue that has thwarted the charge of that car.
Of Verhagen, and also in has come the number 5 from 15th spot, the Phoenix Racing Audi. It's kind of always going to have delivered this kind of finish to this race, and even more so the fact that the top 3 are now on a similar strategy.
Kevin's wife and their young son Tommy in the Manti hospitality, watching on intently, watching Dad at work. So you're absolutely right, Joe. This is still impossible to call, and the traffic for the leading SP9 cars is such a challenge because, yes, the SP9 cars are going for the outright lead, but there's cars up and down the field who are all in their own class battle, which has got just as much significance to them.
Yeah, that's you know what? Who would you put in? I mean, no disrespect to Mattia Caroli and Lars Kern, who are exceptionally very, very quick drivers.
Now, this is not good news in the AT class for the Dodge Viper, the alternatively fueled Dodge Viper, the number 13 car in the pit lane, being looked at very closely. The enormous V10 engine in the front of that Dodge Viper, a whole stream of mechanics looking in there, and that will allow the Porsche in that class 911 to escape at the front, the Nürburgring Nordschleife, as you mentioned, Joe, the number 23 Cooper Racing Porsche hits the front of the field. And this is going to, so at the moment it's a Porsche 123, but we have a lot of stuff to shake out.
It's the 54. So the 54 Mercedes is into the barrier. It looked a very heavy impact as well. Oh no, it's not the 54. My tractor's let me down. It's the 6.
Rash to go past the slower car up towards the carousel, and Juncadella taking similar caution. And and it's Kevin Estra who's gone off the road at X-Back, I think, Joe.
So driving from Kevin Estra, who I think if he continued to try and take the line, he would have been unable to.
It's the Land Audi.
Stay on the track. It was the Land Audi.
I think it might be the Land Audi, Joe, the 29.
So the 29 spun, the number 2 took avoiding action, and then along came Kevin Estra, who again took avoiding action. I think this is because of rain. I think
on your fuel, there was a couple of odd 6 and 5 lap stints earlier on, relatively soon after the restart.
Junior team car driven by Augusto Farfus. You're thinking he's not necessarily a BMW junior, but he's there to help out the juniors, I think, more than anything, as we've got an incident for the number 153 BMW 3 Series 3 Retronic Racing Porsche being dragged off the circuit. And John, you got to think that Julian Andlauer, he will be absolutely distraught at the moment.
Yeah. Damage on the rear of that car. Also a right front puncture on the GT Golf number 166. This is the GT Time Motorsport by WS Racing. This is the Axel Jan, Sven Freisecker, Wayne Moore and Niels Borum, if I'm very honest.
Oh, never underestimate the power of gaffer tape. That's amazing adhesive properties as fans as well. Brilliant stuff to watch. Coming back to the number 77 BMW Junior team, penalty or potential penalty. It's certainly been handed out. This could be critical because the Manthey Racing Porsche of Kevin Estre, which now heads into the lead. So Manthey Racing back leading the 24 Hours of Nürburgring with 48 minutes to go. They've still got a good couple of laps left, and therefore their minimum pit stop time will be shorter. So the closer you get to the end of the race, your lap pit stop time, you have a smaller minimum pit stop time. And John, I actually think that's going to be very much the deciding factor of this motor race.
That's spot on. The 97 seconds behind at the moment in that number 20 car. But what we need to know is how many laps will be left, and they don't know how many laps are left. They know they've got 8 laps of fuel in that car, and they can't do anything but push on. 44 and the 7, the Porsche side by side with the AMG Mercedes on the Grand Prix circuit going down to the Dunlop hairpin, and for a moment Daniel Juncadella was rally crossing Peter. Kevin Estre, who I reckon's in at the end of this lap as he's coming through to the end of it now, and by the time he gets in, oh my goodness, Piccatelli and the 77 coming together. They've been threatening to do that, Peter Mackay, for quite some time. High-speed incident on the far side of the Nordschleife.
Oh my word, that is a huge incident. The number 77 BMW is now ground to a halt at Verschleifen, was going very, very slow. There isn't, I don't think there was a slow zone that certainly someone of Patrick Pilet's experience wouldn't have noticed. So the BMW going incredibly slow for an SP9 car, maybe dealing with a mechanical issue. Patrick Pilet's got completely caught by surprise, plows into the back of the BMW. We've seen the BMW come to a halt, and it might well bring the 31 Fricadelli car to a halt as well.
Gets even more exciting. We said the stagger would have to unwind. AT, 4 Motors Bio concept car, Porsche, being leading that category, had to stay around during the night just in case something happened. Bradders, hang on a second, I'll get you in a second, Joe. Teichmann Racing, the number 110. What a shame for the KTM crossbow. It's come to a halt, 5th in its class.
Going into this restart, all right, there was a little bit of a hiccup with the carrying forward the pit stop from into the restart. But John, back to the track, this looks like it's a real battle.
It's a pass for third.
Position.
Battle for third. Raffaele Marciello goes round the outside, heading up through Flugplatz, the side-by-side. Porsche to the inside as they come to Schwedenkreuz. That puts the Mercedes on the inside of Arnberg, the right-hander. Gets up on the curb just a little bit and goes through. And the battle for third has changed with 8.5 minutes to go down through the foxhole. Kreuz, one of the most formidable corners anywhere in the world. Super quick going up to it. You're Kevin Estre. Bring the Porsche 911 GT3R of Manthey Racing through. Well, it's been an odd one. It's been historic for being the shortest number of laps and shortest time under green at the Total ADAC Nürburgring 24 Hours for 2021. Estre, Caroli, Christensen, Manthey and Porsche. What a formidable team that is. The number 98, their defending champion car, didn't get the look today, did they? Particularly at the restart. But the number 98, Conor De Filippi, the North American, Martin Tomczyk, Sheldon von der Linde brings it home with Marco Wittmann, the 4th driver in that car.
Notching them back up. Great win there, as you said, 8 seconds at the end.
Getting news of a penalty that will affect the front of the field. The Falcon Motorsport number 33 getting a 92-second red flag related penalty, and oh my goodness, how close were they? That's going to drop them, I think, a position. Wait for that to be confirmed on the timing screen. Now the beautiful tradition of the cars coming round the shortcut. Brilliant stuff by all of the teams. They will be partying late into the night. I remember how hard BMW partied last year, and ran well into the darkness hour. It will be no different tonight, and there'll be celebrations within that paddock. Yes, there's work to be done, there's packing up to be done, there's trucks to be loaded, but for winners in class, and those for whom perhaps it was just enough to get to the end, there's something being achieved here very special this weekend.